My name is Johnny Stanton. For me, it all started when I went bowling with Judy today. I should have known something was different as soon as she got a strike. She's usually such a rotten bowler.
Johnny, do you notice anything different about me today?
No.
Are you sure?
You got rouge on? So what's so different about you?
I got my first period today.
So what?
Flow out of the body through the vagina. That's called menstruation.
Menstru what?
Menstruation.
What a funny word.
Yes, it is, but it makes a lot of sense.
It does?
Sure. Menstruation comes from the Latin word menses, which means monthly.
Oh, yeah. Why does that make sense?
Because monthly, this lining of blood and tissue builds up to receive the egg that monthly breaks out of the ovary.
You mean that every month a new baby could start growing there?
No, Lola. Usually, when one egg cell is fertilized, the lining won't dissolve, and the body doesn't notify the ovaries to release any more eggs.
I see.
Change your underwear more often, and be sure and use a deodorant. And pay more attention to your hair and your nails, and plan to wear your prettiest dress.
Miss Jensen, what about dancing? Can you when you're menstruating?
Yes, you can, with moderation. In fact, you can do most of the things you usually do. You can bathe or shower as long as you use warm water. And you can wash your hair if you're sure to dry it quickly. And you can swim if you wait until after 2 or 3 days after the beginning of your period. And you can go to dances and picnics. But it's not a very good idea to skate, or ride horseback, or play fast games like volleyball and basketball, or do strenuous dancing like square dancing, or anything that bounces you around a lot. In general, mild exercises are best. Ones that strengthen the abdominal muscles are particularly good.
I vividly remember the first time I got my period. I was 12, and I felt an odd sensation. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but a part of me knew. I walked quickly, but not so quickly as to arouse suspicion, to the bathroom that I shared with my entire family. Blood stained my underwear. My face flushed red, and I was immediately overcome with shame.
Currently in the state of Michigan, food and medically necessary items are not charged the 6% sales tax charged for most everything else except for feminine products, which most women would argue are medically necessary.
It doesn't seem right that it's something that we have to have that's not, like it's a basic need the same way food is, and yet it's not treated as such by the government.
Emma is a social worker, and she sees the math every single day, working with women who need every penny to make a difference in their lives and families.
It's a lot harder for them to find what they need and to afford it, but like it's a necessary thing, so then they've got to decide what they're going to do.
All over the world, girls and women have trouble accessing their necessary menstrual hygiene products, and girls and women miss days of school and work every month.
Students all across the United States have been fighting for their menstrual rights. They have been petitioning, protesting, and even taking matters into their own hands to get what they need onto their campuses. These students have been working tirelessly with their student governments and in most cases being ignored by their administration on their campuses nationwide. Frostburg State University is no different.
Guys don't have to go through the fact of if their period was to come and they don't have anything to get. I mean, you got to use toilet paper. Like that is sad.
So, I do the toilet paper thing, and then I go home because I was like, I'm not gonna sit in a class with like toilet paper.
What you gotta do is grab some toilet paper, roll it up, and put it in there until you get home. But it's really sad that you have to do that instead of, not being provided with things that women need.
I am aware of the lack of feminine hygiene products on the FSU campus. I see this free menstruation products as really a way to normalize women's bodies, women's bodily functions, and that speaks to a broader issue of women's equality.
Well, I think the important thing to realize is where where Title IX fits in. And Title IX fits in to removing barriers to somebody's educational experience that they don't have any control over. So those barriers can be in the form of discrimination because of gender discrimination, sexual orientation discrimination, male and female, not just, Title IX is not a female exclusive federal law. The topic of feminine hygiene products is one in which it's a personal care piece. It's something that the individual, it's not a barrier that is in place that the individual doesn't have control over. Now, granted, there may be some financial barriers there that are occurring, from an individual perspective, but that financial barrier is not based on whether or not that person, is male or female. They probably have financial barriers to other, things that are not gender specific. So, for example, just take other hygiene products. For example, maybe, if you're not able to purchase feminine hygiene products, are you able to purchase deodorant? Males and females use deodorant. Toothpaste. All of those things, all along the lines up to, are you able to purchase, are all of your needs being met? So to hone it down to Title IX, because it's a product that is specifically made for sole entire purpose to one specific gender, doesn't necessarily put it into the Title IX realm, because again, it's not a barrier that the institution put in place or anybody else put in place that the person who's affected does not have control over. Does that make sense?
No. So after being told by Title IX that this is not a Title IX issue, I tried to speak with the president of Frostburg State University, and here's what he had to say. He told me since he has never heard of this issue before by any of his governance groups, he would not like to speak with me. So I took my questions to SGA.
We've not really heard a whole lot from students on it. So we've had conversations about it with different senators, and I have conversations about it personally, not on an SGA level, but on a personal level with my girlfriend often. But we've not had a whole lot of students who have come to us with concerns about it. We have an issue with keeping the dispensers and bathrooms stocked. I know I think we've started to move away from the kind of dispenser model to having them or having feminine hygiene products regulated on campus and not really regulated, but distributed at specific areas. So I know that we had been distributing them at the Paws Pantry, and the Lane Center has them at the information desk upon request. But I know that, so I think the university is trying, or it has seemed to be trying to change that kind of model that they've been using.
Yeah, it's definitely not convenient to walk all the way up to Brady House to go get some pads. It doesn't seem, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's not accessible for every student. Like, I can see, like, most students, good granted, live off campus. So if we come on campus and we don't have anything, now we have to walk all the way to Brady Health just to get a pad. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, I guess you could say I lose a sense of dignity, but it's like, I don't know, you just walk around feeling very, very embarrassed and very self-conscious just because, like, you don't feel prepared, you know what I mean? And you just don't feel comfortable as a student. Right. As a student, I don't feel comfortable with the fact that I'm not being provided with feminine products and bathrooms all over campus. I mean, I know, like, Brady Health gives them out, but, like, I could be all the way across campus struggling, panicking, and it's like, there's dispensers here, why aren't they being used?
And I'm someone who is super paranoid. I keep at least 5 to 6 tampons in my purse or my backpack at a time, and I keep pads in my backpack just in case, like, there's ever an accident. And it's always super awkward when you try to take your bag with you to the bathroom and your professors are like, where are you going? And you're like, I just need to use the bathroom. And I actually had someone stop me one time and they were like, why are you taking your backpack with you? And I was like, oh no, I'm going to the restroom. I'll be right back. They're like, you don't need your backpack. I was like, yes I do. They're like, no, you don't. I was like, I'm on my period. I need my tampon.
I think in terms of universities and colleges across the American landscape, we have an opportunity to normalize issues of menstruation and attending to women's health. So I think, in terms of being on a college campus, we have an opportunity to set the precedent for this movement.
As students, we have the power to demand what we need. I applaud those who take matters into their own hands by filling the bathroom with different hygiene products that women need. Pads and tampons are very important to our campus. But it is time for us to take a stand and demand what we need. We need to go to our administration and SGA to seek these items out. We have the power. Bobcats do bleed.